Welcome back to another week of Startalk Radio. I'm your host, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. Joining me this week as my guest co-host, Chuck Nice. Chuck, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Neil.
I will not soon forget the Super Bowl show, the football show. You were on fire,
dude. That was great fun.
You were out of control.
That was great fun, man. Ready to get back into it today and get high on science.
We're going to get really high on science. Today's show is a tour of the solar system.
Sweet.
A tour of the solar system. I think every now and then you got to take a tour of your backyard.
Fantastic.
That's what you got to do.
Will you be our tour guide?
I will be your tour guide, but I have some help from two very competent colleagues of mine. One of them, Steve Squires. He's the scientist behind the Mars rovers.
Wow.
You know, we all read about the rovers, and you saw pictures of the terrain. He's in charge.
And
these are his babies.
Did they blame him when they broke down?
No, they blame him when they saved. You know, these things should have broken down long ago.
Oh, really?
Way long ago.
Oh,
so
cool.
He's been saving them. He's their savior, as it were.
Fantastic.
We'll be hearing from Heidi Hamel. She's a research scientist at the Space Sciences Institute in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh,
Colorado, cool. Yeah. So that should be fun. But you know who's a friend of Startalk Radio?
I do know.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
So were you influenced by him when you were a kid?
Absolutely. And by kid, if you mean 20, yes.
So I got a hold of Bill Nye. By the way, lately he's the executive director of the Planetary Society. He finally has like a real job, you know.
Oh, really?
Just gets a paycheck and everything.
Honestly, I always wonder, what else does he do?
What does he do?
Except show up on TV and talk to kids.
Exactly. No, he's actually talking to grown-ups now, including Congress.
Okay.
So he's going to start us off and put us in a good way, getting us to think about where we are in the solar system and where we might one day go.
The most recognizable image to anyone on Earth is the Earth, as seen from space. When you look above you at night these days, I hope you notice occasional very bright objects among the stars, other planets. Humans have spent centuries trying to know all about them. By exploring the solar system, first with our eyes, then telescopes, and these days with extraordinary spacecraft, we have come to know that Mars is cold, Venus is hellishly hot, Saturn would float if it could, and our Earth is but one world among thousands of objects whirling about a common star. Between and beyond the planets are all manner of objects: comets, moons, asteroids, distant icy plutoids, and dust. Often as a young scientist, I'd be given a textbook with a place to write my name inside the cover. Below that, my street, my city, and state. But I'd go on. United States, North American continent, Earth, and Sun. Because we've explored our solar system, I could have added the third rocky ball from the medium-sized star. Have a look around. Your life is changed every day by explorers who've pondered our place in space. For Startalk Radio, I'm Bill Nye, the science guy.
That's my boy, Bill Nye.
Nice. Okay, I just got to ask you, man.
What's that?
Plutoids?
Plutoids.
Is that like a cosmic mint?
Plutoids.
A plutoid?
That's a great product name there, right there.
Would be.
We should start that out. Exactly. But what would your breath smell like? That's the question.
Hopefully not cosmic dust.
That's cosmic. Yeah, got to watch out what stuff smells like
Plutoids.
out there. So the solar system, its formation was 4.5 billion years ago from a huge giant gas cloud, and right in the middle of that gas cloud, where it's densest and hottest, that's where you get the sun. And that's what forms first. And then you get planets and other stuff forming around it. Okay. There was a day when, if you learned about the solar system, it would be like an enumeration of the planets one after another. Sure. But excuse me, the solar system is so much more than that. From the moons around planets to the dust in the plane of the solar system, to asteroids, some of which hit the Earth, comets. Mm-hmm. It's a very rich, dynamic place. And in case you really want to geek out on the sun, so the sun has an actual official classification code. Okay. It's a G2, capital letter G. Right. Arabic numeral 2. Okay. Roman numeral 5.
So G25.
Yes.
In 3 different languages and letters and alphabets and number systems.
Each one means something different.
Each one means something different.
Yes, you want to geek out on the sun. That's what it is.
Now, why G25? Because that really, I don't get it.
Okay, so
G25.
G tells you what the temperature is, okay?
Which is a gazillion degrees.
That's what G stands for.
Really?
Gazillion? No.
For a moment, I almost felt smart. I was like, I got it right.
So stars in order of decreasing temperature is OBAFGKM. Okay. So the sun is one of the cooler of the stars.
Oh, yeah. It is, baby, because it's here in our solar system.
It's cool, but it's actually white hot.
Okay.
And the sun is often portrayed as yellow, but it's actually white. Just go outside and look. It's white. In broad daylight, it's white.
Right.
What happens when it gets low on the horizon, then you can look at it without burning out your eyes. Hey, look, the sun is yellow-orange because the atmosphere just changed its color.
So those are particles in our atmosphere that actually change the color.
Actually, what the particles do is scatter the blue light out of the rainbow, leaving behind the red and the orange.
So basically, if you were in space, you would look at the sun.
It'd be white no matter what.
It'd be white no matter what.
No matter how you
burn
put your
eyes out, and that'd be the end of it.
That'd be the last experiment you did. So what I've got is let's go to my colleagues. They visited me in New York in my office. Steve Squires, principal investigator of the Mars rovers, professor of astronomy at Cornell University, and Heidi Hamel, who is total planet babe. She's all about planets.
Sweet.
And so let's find out what we all have to talk about. So, Steve, I keep thinking of you as like Mr. Mars. Anytime I look up in the sky and Mars is there, I'm thinking of your two rovers there. When you look up at Mars in the night sky, do you think that too?
Mars.
Would you just wish you were there?
Mars looks different to me than it used to. It used to be, I can remember before we launched them, looking at Mars in the night sky, and it just looked impossibly far away.
So now it's your backyard.
And I look at it now and I think I know this place.
You're a kid playing in your backyard.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah. It feels totally different to look at Mars now than it did a long time ago. Yeah.
Do you see it though? When you see it in the sky, do the pictures from the rovers? Is that what you see? Or
Kind of. Except I don't think in terms of pictures. I sort of feel like I know what it would be like to be there. Not just the pictures of the surface, but I know what the clouds in the sky look like. I know the seasons.
The rovers are his avatar.
It kind of feels like that. Yeah, it does. And we've experienced Mars through those rovers for so long. I kind of feel like I know what the place is like now.
Yeah, but are you now do you have Mars on the brain so that it's hard to think about the rest of the solar system?
No.
Heidi, you get around the solar system,
I sure
right?
do. Yeah, I look at a lot of other planets besides just Mars.
So you're not
we don't have that. We don't have those images. We don't have those rovers on the surface. So I still think a lot in pictures.
Plus, half your planets don't have surfaces.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they've
Right.
got.
I have to ask, what's your favorite?
It changes with time.
It's just like picking your children, right?
Yeah,
That's what.
Exactly. I don't play favorites.
Uh-huh.
At different times, different planets do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you were looking at, Uranus at equinox, and it's busted out
And that's
with
the official.
clouds.
It's not Uranus, right? It's Uranus.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on that whole thing. I gave up on that. For a while, I was on a mission to educate people about Uranus. And then my own hometown paper wrote a story about those yellow lights, that they were trying for cost efficiency. And the headline...
for the nighttime, for street lights.
For street lights, right. Mm-hmm. Street lights at night so that it would be darker. Less light pollution, and some people didn't like it, and they ran a headline about the Uranus-colored lights. And that's when I gave up. But yeah, I would call it Uranus. That's more traditional. But, when Voyager flew by Uranus in 1986, it was dead. There was maybe 10 clouds if you really stretch the contrast.
So Uranus is a big ball of gas with no surface features.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's right. If you and I were on a spaceship outside it, when Voyager flew by, it didn't see anything. And so everyone thought it's dull and boring. Well, that's not what it's like right now. It's in a completely different season. And the atmosphere is turning on, and there's bright clouds, and there's dark spots, and there's all kinds of activity on this planet. And it's my favorite right now because it flies in the face of what we were taught in school about Uranus. We were taught that...
I remember the books. Uranus was an example of a boring...
It's the boring one, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, which is just absolutely not true right now. Mm-hmm, and the books are starting to finally catch up with reality.
Now, Mars, of course, is a dynamic place.
Yeah, it's changing all the time. I mean, it's got seasons very much like the Earth does, very different at different times of year. It's
not only very much like, it's like almost exactly like the Earth does, right? I mean,
it's
tipped how many?
25 to
25, and we're 23.
23 and a half, yeah. So it's almost the same. The
rotates
year is longer, of course.
Rotates once in how many?
24 hours and 39 minutes. And let me tell you, if you're operating rovers on Mars, that just plays havoc with your life.
Okay, next time that happens to me, I'll keep that in mind.
You would think it would
Listeners, when you're operating rovers, just get ready for this.
You would think it'd be nice to be able to sleep in an extra 39 minutes each day, but it kind of adds up in weird ways.
It gets out of sync, doesn't it?
It gets out of sync.
Oh, you think it's like a slow jet lag that eats away at you.
We lived on Mars time for months We had Mars alarm clocks, Mars stopwatches. We had food service on Mars time, maid service in an apartment on Mars time. We had blackout curtains on the windows, so you couldn't tell if it was daytime or nighttime. It was like being in a casino.
Did you adjust to it, or did you really feel human and terrestrial because your bodies couldn't adjust to it?
Our bodies could adjust to it just fine as long as Earth did not interfere in our lives.
In other words, the blinds on the windows were absolutely cut
That
out.
was fine, and if you have to live a day that's 24/39, it's perfectly easy to lead unless you have to interact with real human beings in the real world on Earth.
You were
like
like a spouse, or you walk your dog or something.
That sort of thing.
So what you're saying is you were basically in a Mars habitat here on Earth.
we kind of were, but then there would be events, somebody would decide there had to be a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. And if it's in the middle of my night, I was still expected to show up. And that was when it got difficult.
Wait, I thought you were in charge.
Not when it came to interacting with the press. Okay. When we had press conferences, they were at 8 a.m. Pacific, and that was it. And, telling CNN that we want to have our press conference at 3 a.m. just didn't work real well.
So the press likes your rovers.
I think they do.
Wow.
So geeking out on the planets,
dude,
right there.
That was like Geekapalooza.
Geekapalooza. Isn't it great? Everybody has a favorite planet.
Yeah.
How many people in the street, that's my favorite planet for these 11 reasons.
Yeah, well, most people you ask, what's your favorite planet? They're going to be like, the one I'm standing on.
Not the one, well, this one used to have no surface features and then cloud layer. There's a whole analysis of what they follow and why, and it keeps them pumped every single day.
Yeah, I'm just glad to know that Mars has seasons.
Yes, and polar ice caps.
Yeah.
This accounts for its allure in the history of science fiction writing.
Yeah.
Why people have chosen Mars as a target for life more so than other planets.
Oh, darling, I can't wait until we take spring in Mars.
Not only that, what we have on Mars is not only the rovers, they're orbiters as well, so that we can know where we might send the rovers next. Otherwise, you're kind of driving blind. And what's good about rovers is it's a mobile geologist, and you don't have to go there. Plus, the rover doesn't have to come back.
Okay.
See, if you send a human being, they usually want to come back.
Normally.
That's the you got to feed them,
Right. You got to send a misanthrope. I hate you guys.
Yeah, get out of here, go to Mars. So one of the things we found recently in Mars is methane emanating from the sides of ravines in Mars.
Really?
Yeah, and methane is the kind of gas that is produced in the anaerobic digestion of food.
Okay. So actually, Mars is a big, giant fart, is what you're saying.
Well, no, did I say, I
did.
Okay.
That sounds...
Chuck, that's why we have you on the show.
That actually sounds more like Uranus. Or should I say Uranus?
No, Uranus. Yes,
Uranus.
we just got schooled on that one.
Yeah. Uranus, that's what it is. Uranus.
So, after the break, we'll talk about the search for life and how the search for water is driving the search for life. Because everywhere on Earth where you find liquid water, you find life. Every place, including places like the Dead Sea. The reason why they call it the Dead Sea, they didn't have a microscope to tell what would do the backstroke.
But there are things alive in the Dead Sea.
Not fishes, but there's other stuff that's alive for sure.
Right.
And you are listening to Star Talk Radio. Follow us at startalkradio.net. We are on Facebook, Star Talk Radio. And we tweet at, guess what, Chuck? Star Talk Radio.
At Star Talk Radio.
And I tweet the universe at Neil Tyson. And Chuck Nice, you are
at Nice Chuck Nice.
Who said you were nice?
It certainly was me, because nobody else is saying that.
Nobody else is saying that for sure.
I keep trying to convince people.
We'll see you in a bit. Come back. We'll talk about life and the search for it in the universe.
White moon breaks open the tune of a deserted cartoon that I wrote.
Need a laptop computer for work or school but can't get approved because of bad credit or no credit? Listen up, because Computer Funding is now offering a special radio promotion. Be one of the first 50 callers and you'll be approved for a brand new, brand name laptop computer. There are no turndowns. That's right, bad credit or no credit at all. You will not, cannot be turned down. In fact, we won't even check your credit, guaranteed. Call right now and we'll include a free color printer and a free LCD TV with paid purchase. But remember, we can only make this incredible offer to the first 50 callers to 800-741-9948. Stop whatever you're doing right now and take advantage of this incredible opportunity to get a brand new, brand name laptop with a free color printer and free LCD TV. Call 800-741-9948 now. That's 800-741-9948.
Listen carefully to this message. If you're about to buy hardwood flooring, you're going to pay too much. Unless, of course, you buy from us. We're Lumber Liquidators, and we dare you to shop and compare with the big box stores. Lumber Liquidators offers the low price guarantee. When you buy your quality hardwood flooring from Lumber Liquidators, you save hundreds, if not thousands, every time. Because we buy direct from the mills. We are truly the wood floor experts. To prove it, we'll send you our beautiful full-color catalog absolutely free. Call 1-800-948-5412. Shop for hardwoods in cherry, oak, and walnut, bamboo, laminates, and even Bellawood pre-finished flooring with a 50-year warranty. The same floor Bob Vila has in his home. Don't pay more than you have to for flooring. Call Lumber Liquidators right now. We even offer installation and financing. Visit your local Lumber Liquidators or call right now for your free full-color catalog. Call 1-800-948-5412. That's 1-800-948-5412. 1-800-948-5412.
You can't see me right now, but I just slipped into my pajamas, and I'm going straight to college. How is this possible? Because you can go to college online and never leave your home. Using your computer to get an online degree is really smart and easy. In fact, people with a degree, on average, earn $1 million more in their lifetime. So, how do you find a good online school? Well, get your computer and go online. Education Connection is a free service that connects hundreds of people each day to the best online colleges. And you don't want to pick the wrong online school. So ladies, slip on your cute little PJs. And guys, get your robe, please. And go to college online. Log on now for your free personality test that will help match you to the right school. This is a $75 value, and it's yours free. So log on now.
Log on now to 71schoolconnection.com. 71schoolconnection.com. That's 71schoolconnection.com. 71schoolconnection.com.
And science down to earth. You're listening to Startalk.
Awesome.
I can't believe
how much of the cosmos there is in pop culture, pop songs.
In rap music. Who knew that Jay-Z was a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson? No. You know, he was just like, yeah, I'm going to put this one in for Neil, biatch. That's great.
Yeah, so welcome back to Star Talk Radio. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson with Chuck Nice, comedian and the TV host and all-around good, funny guy, and I got him here just to chew the fat.
And I appreciate it.
Well, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you on board.
Thank you, sir.
And we're talking about the solar system today, a tour of the solar system, basically. Right. We have two of the world's experts to serve that up. One is Steve Squires, who runs the Mars rovers, which we've all heard about. Everyone's heard about the rovers, even if you didn't know he was the man in charge. And there's a whole team, of course, but he's the main,
the top banana.
The top banana.
There you go.
And Heidi Hamill, who's an all-around planet geektress. I mean, is that the word, geektress?
Geektress. You just made it up. I like it.
We make it right on the spot. And so the solar system is full of a lot of sort of alien worlds. There are moons and planets and comets and asteroids and one planet is different from the next. One moon is different from the next.
Right.
These are exotic places.
Yes.
Is there any place one of these you might want to visit one day?
Pandora. I just love those blue people. They're so adorable with their little tails, and I love them.
and they're so nimble on tree limbs.
Exactly.
You worry about me sometimes, Chuck. You know, because there's so much going on in the solar system, not everything has a perfectly circular orbit around the sun. A circular orbit is the only orbit you can have and not hit something else. Okay?
Okay.
If you do not have a circular orbit, there's a chance you're going to get hit. You're going to hit something. Something's going to hit you.
Now, from what I understand, aren't there planets here in our solar system that have an elliptical orbit?
Yes. No, not anymore. No. Pluto. Don't get me started on Pluto, because we'll take it outside. Let's go back to Steve Squires and Heidi Hamill. They're going to tell us what kind of a shooting gallery the solar system actually is. Now, Heidi, you go way back with the press. My first encounters with you, as I think with many, were with the comet impact on Jupiter. You were like the face of the comet.
The first impact on Jupiter.
Yeah. There's more than one?
We just had another one in July.
Oh, I know about that. I forgot all about that. I've been busy. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's an impact. It's the size of the Earth kind of thing. Big explosion.
So Jupiter's kind of asking for it, right?
Obviously.
Well, it's a big target.
Well, it's there to take one on the chin for us.
It's a big target.
That's really true.
That's
really true. It's protecting us.
It's protecting us.
It's a big brother protecting us.
Yeah. But yeah, my first interactions with the press on any large scale were back in '94 when we were doing weather broadcasting from Jupiter.
What was going on every day on Jupiter?
Absolutely. It was pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So if that happens just in the last couple of decades, this must be going on all the time, right?
You would think so.
Living in some special time when Jupiter's getting hit.
We thought we might have been lucky the first time, and when it happened just exactly 15 years later, we realized, maybe we aren't so lucky.
All right, here's a question. Now that you know what to look for, now that you know what an impact on Jupiter looks like, is there data mining you can do? Can you go back through old pictures?
Data mining. So it's like looking back in
after the '94 impact, some folks went and did do that. They went back and looked. We had the Planetary Patrol telescopes. I don't know if you're aware of that network of 24-inch telescopes that were just studying Jupiter.
Creating an archive of data.
Exactly, and there's nothing like Shoemaker Levy 9. The big one in '94 was there.
So you would have seen it. The pictures are good enough that you'd know.
Absolutely, that's right. And people, do talk about the historical record. There's reports of Cassini himself, not Cassini the spacecraft, but Mr.
Cassini the guy.
Cassini the guy who did these
It's weird
drawings.
to think there are people with names after spacecraft. What a coincidence.
When you say Galileo, we're talking about Galileo the guy or Galileo the spacecraft. Well, Cassini drew pictures of...
Or the European... navigation system, Galileo.
Right. That's right.
Their counterpart to our GPS.
You got to get some more astronomers' names in play. Like he's talking, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No.
And mission named after you.
You have people to die. You don't want that.
That's right. These are named after dead people.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But people did go back and look, and they haven't seen conclusive evidence in the past of any big events like this. But I'll tell you, nowadays these amateurs have terrific telescopes. They have amazing CCD systems.
Allow me to clarify. In most professions, if you accuse them of being an amateur, it would be an insult. Whereas in astronomy, amateur is a badge of pride and courage.
Yeah. Well, and also they do terrific science now. There's a synergy between the professional astronomy community that basically has the really huge telescopes and the amateurs who have smaller telescopes, but they're terrific and they have tons of time because the amateur just goes out at night and spends all night looking, whereas...
And they're in every time zone.
Every time zone, all around the world. With these big telescopes like Hubble or the Keck 10 meter, you might get half an hour a year. And that's all the time you have to look at your objects. So we rely on the amateur community to feed us information about things like impacts on Jupiter. It was an amateur who spotted that and alerted the professional community. And
the second impact.
The second one, that's right.
So I'm sitting between two very different kinds of scientists now. One you, Heidi, who are still using telescopes.
She's kind of behind the times.
I'm looking at things that are far away.
You're still looking at telescopes. And Steve, you're just there, You don't worry about the optics. You don't worry about bad weather. We
worry about both of those, my friend. First of all, we got optics all over these rovers. Second, we are very, very sensitive to the weather on Mars.
Okay.
But it is true that he can send spacecraft to his object and get them there within, a reasonable funding cycle.
Before he dies.
Before he dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we want to start talking about planets around other stars, we aren't going to be sending spacecraft.
Or even some of the planets in the outer solar system. If you're talking about a mission to Neptune, the time scales for pulling that off are very long.
Well, so that's why the Pluto mission, the New Horizons, that was like a light payload with some really huge engines to get it there.
That's right. Yeah.
That one was that was booking,
and it's still on its way, and we got years to go.
Yeah, another 5 years. So it's humans attack the solar system. That's what this is about, Jack.
I've learned some things, man.
Well, this is the point of the show.
The thing I learned that most stuck out was that in astronomy, size matters.
Yes, it does.
Everybody has telescope envy.
Yeah, so whatever size is your in fact, you go to astronomy conventions, how big is yours?
Right.
It's true. But here's the problem. At some point, you got to carry the thing to the observing site. And above a certain size, you just can't.
You can't do it.
You can't even do it. So it's
I know what you mean.
It's not Chuck out of control.
Okay, let me shut up.
So what we have going on in the solar system is the planets are no longer just dots of light with pretty atmospheric conditions that photograph through a telescope. We can actually go there and look at surface features. And so there's a whole frontier of planetary science called comparative planetology. And if there's a mountain on one planet, look for a mountain on the other. There's craters, valleys, riverbeds. You compare one object to another. And especially for the terrestrial planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They're small, they're rocky.
Right.
And so we can learn about one by studying another. For example, so we can ask, well, while we've been going to Mars for the past 30 years, guess where the Soviet Union back in the old days, guess where they went the most? Venus.
Really?
Yes. And they had a whole series of Venera spacecraft.
Venera
yes,
spacecraft.
That's what they're called. That's right, Venera. So that's the genitive.
Kind of sounds like a medical condition. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying. Well, it's funny that you should ask because
man, I got a bad case of Venera, man.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
So what happened was astronomers, when we figured you try to come up with words for names for where you come. If you're from Earth, Earthling.
Okay.
If you're from Jupiter, you're Jovian. If you're
I did not know that.
You didn't know that? You didn't. By Jove.
No, by Jove comes from
Jupiter, of course.
Jupiter,
of course. Yes.
Okay.
And Venus would be Venusian.
Venusian.
If you come from Venus, you're Venusian.
Okay.
And so the reason why we came up with Venusian is because the proper genitive form of Venus is venereal. And the medical doctors got to that word before we did. And I am so pissed off.
That is so cool.
I am so angry about that. And they took the word right out from under
you guys.
And so and why name it after Venus? Mm-hmm. Because it's the diseases common to love and beauty and all that go with it.
That makes sense.
And that's Venus, the goddess of love and beauty.
Oh my God. I'm just happy to know that, this little condition I have that it needs antibiotics is so romantic.
TMI right there. TMI. So,
it'll clear up. Don't worry.
Now, here's the problem on Venus. Yeah, if we sent you to Venus, it would all be cleared up because it's 900 degrees Fahrenheit there.
Oh, sweet.
There's a runaway greenhouse effect going on there. And that makes it very hard to investigate because your metals melt. It'll melt lead, for example. You can't have lead solder or anything.
Only Superman could do that. So that's hot.
Is that right?
Yeah, his laser vision.
Okay, we should do it.
What's funny, he couldn't see through lead, but yet he could melt it with his heat vision.
Interesting.
How crazy is that?
That's crazy. We're going to do a special show on the physics of superheroes.
Get out.
Should I get you back for that?
Oh, man, if you don't, I will never speak to you again.
All right. That's not, we'll work that one out. And so of these destinations, Pluto is on our targets, the X-planet Pluto. It's got what's called the New Horizons mission. It's booking. It's the fastest hunk of hardware we have ever sent anywhere.
Wow.
It's on its way to Pluto right now. It'll get there in 2015. And we're headed there. And so
that's one hell of a road trip, man.
It's one hell of a road trip, and it's on hugely powerful rockets because the principal investigator of that mission wants to make sure you get to Pluto before he dies. See, that's how that works. This is the number one rule.
It's like a trip to my mother-in-law's house.
Scientific investigation. And so they're all we have spacecraft going to comets, to asteroids, and so we're all over the solar system now. It's a fun time to be alive because the solar system is no longer this distant place.
Wow.
And when we come back after the break, as I promised before, we're going to talk about life, the search for life in the universe. What are the conditions that a planet or an object have to have in order for there to have life as we know it?
Right.
Because maybe this could be some stuff that life as you don't know it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I went to the Grammys.
Yeah.
And I think there are people there that definitely prove that there's life on other planets.
Life as we
Carefully to this message. If you're about to buy hardwood flooring, you're going to pay too much. Unless, of course, you buy from us. We're Lumber Liquidators, and we dare you to shop and compare with the big box stores. Lumber Liquidators offers the low price guarantee. When you buy your quality hardwood flooring from Lumber Liquidators, you save hundreds, if not thousands, every time. Because we buy direct from the mills. We are truly the wood floor experts. To prove it, we'll send you our beautiful full-color catalog absolutely free. Call 1-800-948-5414 5412. Shop for hardwoods in cherry, oak, and walnut, bamboo, laminates, and even Bellawood pre-finished flooring with a 50-year warranty. The same floor Bob Vila has in his home. Don't pay more than you have to for flooring. Call Lumber Liquidators right now. We even offer installation and financing. Visit your local Lumber Liquidators or call right now for your free full-color catalog. Call 1-800-948-5412. That's 1-800-948-5412. 1-800-948-5412.
You can't see me right now, but I just slipped into my pajamas, and I'm going straight to college. How is this possible? Because you can go to college online and never leave your home. Using your computer to get an online degree is really smart and easy. In fact, people with a degree, on average, earn $1 million more in their lifetime. So, how do you find a good online school? Well, get your computer and go online. Education Connection is a free service that connects hundreds of people each day to the best online colleges. And you don't want to pick the wrong online school. So ladies, slip on your cute little PJs. And guys, get your robe, please. And go to college online. Log on now for your free personality test that will help match you to the right school. This is a $75 value, and it's yours free. So log on now.
Log on now to 71schoolconnection.com. 71schoolconnection.com. That's 71schoolconnection.com. 71schoolconnection.com.
If you're looking for the perfect gift for a new baby or young child in your life, whether you're the parent or grandparent or just a friend, forego the cutesy outfits and diaper bags and give a gift that can really make a forever difference in a child's life. Give the gift of reading. Let me tell you about the Your Baby Can Read program. Now, perhaps you've seen this amazing video of these kids reading on TV. Some are just toddlers, but they are reading. Research shows that the best time for a child to learn a language is from birth to 5 years old. Now, you don't want to miss that opportunity. Early readers perform better in school. They have more self-esteem, and that can make a huge difference that lasts a lifetime. So come on, give the gift of reading with Your Baby Can Read. But to get in on this, you've got to call right now. And if you're one of the first 100 callers, you qualify to get the Your Baby Can Read program absolutely risk-free. Plus, you get 6 free books. Now, that's a $25 value.
Call 800-508-3105. That's 800-508-3105. 800-508-3105.
And everything orbiting around it. This is Star Talk.
He was just bugging out the whole time.
I am. I'm fascinated by the fact that
it's a piece of hardware and it's going really fast. What's your problem?
Yeah, well, first of all, you told me that this thing starts in 2006.
Yeah, it was launched in 2006.
And then you said when we were talking on the air, 2015.
Yeah, it's a 10-year mission. Yeah.
So what do you do in the 10 years?
Oh, so the PI is.
I mean, you shoot the thing up there, and now you got 10 years.
You go to the Bahamas for 10 years. No, I think I'm told that they're working hard trying to make sure. No, you actually can take images. You test the equipment along the way.
Okay.
You get data. It passes other planets. It needs a gravity assist.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, it's doing things. It's not just.
But see, the thing is, Pluto is moving.
Yes, it is.
So
not very fast, but it is moving.
Yeah. So now you're shooting a rocket at a moving target.
Yeah, you're not shooting where it is. You're shooting where it will be when you get there.
Or at least you hope.
Well, that's when laws of physics, you don't have to hope.
Oh, really? Is that okay, good. So it's not like, hey, man, we got here. Pluto's not home.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Right.
It's like, it was here 3 days ago. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, Newton's laws of physics allow you to hit it where it will be when it will be there.
Hence the gravitational adjustments. Is that what you're saying?
No, we know the gravity fully in advance the whole route.
Oh, man.
We have the capacity to make tiny mid-course adjustments if there's something we hadn't figured.
Right.
But lately, these things have been going without hardly any use of fuel.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's a lob shot, basically. So what? Now we're not going to Pluto to look for life. It's too cold. It's too far. It's too dark. It's too everything that we can imagine that could serve life. But there are other places in the solar system that could serve this need. And we talked to two of my favorite colleagues, Steve Squires and Heidi Hamill. We had a geek fest in my office.
Geeking out.
We were geeking out on the solar system.
Just giddy. I can hear the giggling now.
We were giddy. Let's find out what they say about a search for life in the solar system. We love the planets, but the real goal is we want to find life. Mars has been a seductive prospect for life since the beginning, since Lowell.
Yep.
Okay, Percival Lowell thought he saw Martians.
A little misled, but
he
had the right idea.
But his heart was in the right place.
Yeah, his heart was in the right place.
He's the one who invented the canal story. Mm-hmm. You'll quickly tell us the canal story real quick?
Basically what happened was that people looked through a telescope and they
100
saw,
years ago.
100 years ago, in moments of brief atmospheric clarity, they could see what looked like a fine network of straight lines on the planet's surface. And they were so straight and so regular that the people looking at these concluded that not only were they evidence of life, they were evidence of intelligence life. Now, they were correct, but the life was at the wrong end of the telescope. What they were seeing was an optical illusion.
And didn't know enough about illusions to
and in fact, there's nothing of the sort on the surface of Mars, but as we've learned in recent decades, Mars is very interesting in other ways.
Nonetheless, with possible evidence of running water. So the two water places that I know of is Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, one of my favorite places just to think about, to dream about, because I want to go ice fishing on Europa one day. Yeah. And of course Mars, with possibly under surface aquifers. And Heidi, how is Europa kept warm? It's not the sun.
No, it's really kind of a gravitational tidal pumping with the other moons around Jupiter that kind of bend it. The analogy I use is if you take a credit card and you bend it back and forth, it gets warm.
I try not to do that.
With old credit cards.
Piece of coat hanger wire.
A coat hanger, a paper clip. How's that? You bend a paper clip back and forth a whole bunch and you touch it, you feel it gets warm. Right? Same thing is happening with this moon. Europa and Io, they're kind of getting flexed and bent, and it heats them up. And you know what? Don't forget about Enceladus when you're talking about water worlds. Enceladus, we now know, is just moon of Saturn.
Little tiny one, too. It's also tidally heated.
Tidally heated, the same flexing to heat it up, but it's just blasting water out of its southern pole.
Geysers, basically.
Are these not ice volcanoes, or what are... No. It's liquid water coming out?
It's water.
Yeah, you could think of it as volcanoes. It's just that the magma is water instead of being molten rock.
I mean, you could if
pressure that builds up and it spews forth.
It's water. I mean, you could if you flew a spacecraft through it and collected it, and you were able at room temperature, you could drink.
And of course, every place on Earth we have liquid water, we have life. So therein is the temptation.
That's where the temptation.
What would you bet on, Mars or Europa as the place, if there's life other than Earth in the solar system, that we would find it
today? Yeah, see, that's the question. Is that you're talking about life today or life ever existed? Because it's a different question.
Today.
I would say Europa. If I knew how to
Europa, not Mars.
If I knew how to do submarines on Europa, I wouldn't be screwing around with rovers on Mars. Yes, sir.
Ooh.
What if you dug down into Mars? Doesn't it get warmer?
Yeah, it does.
Can't you? It does. And you got water as you get further.
Yeah, I don't know how to drill down hundreds of meters on Mars either.
Well, you don't
they're
know.
both tough.
But if you don't know how to drill on Europa,
but if they're I mean, they're both huge technological challenges. But if there truly is,
just how thick is the ice on Europa approximately?
We don't even know for sure that there's an ocean there.
Well, I saw the pictures.
10 kilometers,
it's
100
unproven.
kilometers.
It's likely, but it is
saw
unproven.
the ice. It looks like...
I know. Make a picture for you, Neil.
It looks like, but you're going to spend tens of billions of dollars doing a submarine mission to an ocean that you don't know for sure exists?
Okay. All right.
We got work to do there.
We got to learn a lot about the environment.
I want this to happen in my lifetime. We got two key people here.
Eat healthy, get lots of exercise, okay?
Go on that low-calorie diet. 1,700 calories a day. That'll get you an extra year per year or something.
Wear my seatbelt,
Yeah.
But you know what? What might happen in your lifetime is we may find Earth-like planets around other stars in a distance from that star where water could be liquid.
Yep. I'll tell you another one that could happen in your lifetime, and that is bringing rock samples back from Mars that contain definitive evidence, one way or the other,
fossilized,
on whether or not there was life at the location from which the rocks came.
And ideally, you get to choose your own rocks.
Yeah, see, I mean, we have rocks from In fact, I'm sure you've got them in your museum here. We've got rocks from Mars here on Earth in the form of meteorites, but these are rocks that literally fell from the sky. We don't know where on Mars they came from. We didn't pick them. They just came here.
They don't have the pedigree that you need to order.
Mars is a very, very complex place geologically, and to be perfectly honest, most of Mars is pretty boring. Most of Mars is just covered with lava, very dry, very desolate.
Solid
no evidence
lava.
That water was there. Solid lava, yeah, solid lava, and very ancient volcanic rocks, and evidence for life you're not going to find in a place like that. To find it, you got to go to the special places where you have the right minerals, the right sediments, the kind of stuff that can preserve evidence of ancient habitable watery conditions, and those are few and far between.
Okay, so we have Mars as a good example of where to look for evidence of past lives. Europa as a place to look for possible evidence of current life.
You could look for evidence of current life on Mars as well, but you probably have to drill deep, and that's hard.
GeekFest continues.
Man, that was serious.
Now, Chuck, you realize that interview in my office took place a few weeks before the announcement that we found Goldilocks planets orbiting, exoplanets orbiting distant stars.
Yeah, where they're close enough or far enough from the sun where they can have water. And
at the right distance, not too
close.
close.
Not too close, not too far.
You evaporate too
Hence
far.
the Goldilocks, right?
The Goldilocks, exactly. And so for them to say this will happen in your lifetime, then happen 3 weeks later, you know.
You ask, you receive.
Yeah, like they forked it up.
Right.
We have a tweet that someone asked from a tweet. This is Trudvertite. That's the Twitter handle. Is the thought of exploring and terraforming Mars even relevant if we can't even take care of our own planet?
Yes, it is. Let me just field this one.
Okay, this one goes to Chuck, apparently.
We're going to need a place to go.
After we mess up the Earth.
Because we're screwing this one up royally, buddy. So we need a place to go.
Okay, so you have the opposite sense of this question. This question is, we don't deserve another planet if we can't take care of our own. You're saying it's because we can't take care of our own that we got to have the planet.
Absolutely.
My reply is, if you have the power to terraform another planet, you have the power to fix your own planet.
Wow.
Just think about that.
Wow.
If you have that much control over geoengineering,
right.
What's a few degrees warming? Just crank the knob that lowers the temperature
exactly,
back again.
Because you'll know what to do.
You know exactly what to do.
Basically, you'll be able to create a geothermal thermostat.
A thermostat, exactly.
Basically.
Awesome phrase.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah. I don't even know where that came from.
A geothermal thermostat. Awesome.
Dude, hanging out with you is rubbing off on me.
Ooh,
this is
that
great.
just felt good.
I felt smart for a second. Still don't know what I said.
And so we got these. And so you got these places. Heidi raised an interesting point, and that if you're looking around for other solar systems, star systems, we don't know yet how common our star system is.
Okay.
We've got these 8 planets. Get over it. We've got 8. We've got sort of Earth and Mars sort of in the Goldilocks zone, but we have these places outside of the Goldilocks zone kept warm. Right. In the case of Jupiter, it's Jupiter's gravity stressing the moons. By the way, in the old days, people said, let's find a planet with life. But you can have a moon. If the moon is big enough, why not have life on a moon?
Right.
And if the host planet keeps the moon warm, you don't even have to be in the Goldilocks zone of the host star.
So now when you guys were talking about this, wait a minute. Tidal heat.
Oh, tidal heat, yes.
Is that when the gravity moves the planet back and forth or stretches it?
It stretches.
And that creates the heat.
It's a stretching kind of gravity, and it does that to the water, the back oceans of the Earth, that stretches them, and Earth turns inside and out of the stretched ocean on the Earth.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. More about tidal heating when we get back on Startalk Radio. By the way, follow us on the net. StarTalkRadio.net. You see all our back episodes archived there, instructions on how to listen to us live, streaming, or on your local radio station. And, of course, we tweet at StarTalk Radio.
You're looking for the perfect gift for a new baby or young child in your life? Whether you're the parent or grandparent or just a friend, forego the cutesy outfits and diaper bags and give a gift that can really make a forever difference in a child's life. Give the gift of reading. Let me tell you about the Your Baby Can Read program. Now, perhaps you've seen this amazing video of these kids reading on TV. Some are just toddlers, but they are reading. Research shows that the best time for a child to learn a language is from birth to 5 years old. Now, you don't want to miss that opportunity. Early readers perform better in school. They have more self-esteem, and that can make a huge difference that lasts a lifetime. So come on, give the gift of reading with Your Baby Can Read. But to get in on this, you've got to call right now. And if you're one of the first 100 callers, you qualify to get the Your Baby Can Read program absolutely risk-free. Plus, you get 6 free books. Now, that's a $25 value.
Call 800-508-3105. That's 800-508-3105. 800-508-3105.
Need a laptop computer for work or school but can't get approved because of bad credit or no credit? Listen up, because Computer Funding is now offering a special radio promotion. Be one of the first 50 callers and you'll be approved for a brand new, brand name laptop computer. There are no turndowns. That's right, bad credit or no credit at all, you will not, cannot be turned down. In fact, we won't even check your credit, guaranteed. Call right now and we'll include a free color printer and a free LCD TV with paid purchase. But remember, you can only make this incredible offer to the first 50 callers to 800-741-9948. Stop whatever you're doing right now and take advantage of this incredible opportunity to get a brand new, brand name laptop with a free color printer and free LCD TV. Call 800-741-9948 now. That's 800-741-9948.
Liquidators, listen carefully to this message. If you're about to buy hardwood flooring, you're going to pay too much. Unless, of course, you buy from us. We're Lumber Liquidators, and we dare you to shop and compare with the big box stores. Lumber Liquidators offers the low price guarantee. When you buy your quality hardwood flooring from Lumber Liquidators, you save hundreds, if not thousands, every time. Because we buy direct from the mills. We are truly the wood floor experts. To prove it, we'll send you our beautiful full-color catalog absolutely free. Call 1-800-948-5412. Shop for hardwoods in cherry, oak, and walnut, bamboo, laminates, and even Bellawood pre-finished flooring with a 50-year warranty. The same floor Bob Vila has in his home. Don't pay more than you have to for flooring. Call Lumber Liquidators right now. We even offer installation and financing. Visit your local Lumber Liquidators or call right now for your free full-color catalog. Call 1-800-948-5412. That's 1-800-948-5412. 1-800-948-5412.
Of space and the secrets of our planet revealed. This is Startalk.
The listeners a tour of the solar system and other solar systems as well. Do you know there's a mission up there right now getting data like gangbusters called Kepler? Named after the famous mathematician from the German mathematician, late 1500s, early 1600s. He was the first to write down an equation that told you how planets orbit the sun. They're called Kepler's 3 laws of motion.
Wow.
It was awesome. The first law of science in the universe was Kepler's 3 laws.
Kepler's 3 laws of motion.
So basically, predictive physical science has only really been around for 400 years since he wrote down those equations. Yeah.
So we're pretty new at this.
We're kind of new, yeah, compared to other stuff that humans have been doing. Right. So Kepler is specially designed to find Earth-sized planets orbiting sun-like stars. And there's a recent data that was released that had a set of 1,000 stars, 1,000 planets orbiting other stars. And so it tripled the number of total. So we went from 500 to now 1,500 stars, 1,500 planets.
1,500 planets.
In orbit around stars that are not the sun.
Okay.
And out of those, there's about 40 or 50 Goldilocks planets that were found.
So there's about 40 or 50 other Earths floating around out
that
there.
could sustain
They
liquid
could
water.
sustain our life or have water.
Jupiter-sized planets with moons that are outside the Goldilocks zone. So we're casting a pretty wide net in the search for this. Do you realize this whole field, the search for life in the universe, it's called astrobiology? That's a term. If you went 20 years ago, the term no one knew how to use it.
Nobody even knew.
It was not really part of the parlance of scientific discourse, and it's a field essentially invented by NASA.
Right. So 15 years ago, that would have been just called BS.
Well, you need data. Data converts BS to real, to real discourse. Carl Sagan was, of course, a very early proponent of the search for life in the universe, and we can call him the father of astrobiology in that sense.
Okay.
Although there are other people who had done sort of Earth-based bio-experiments that preceded that. But you want to stay current on the frontier of astrobiology?
Right.
There's an online NASA magazine called Astrobio.
Astrobio.net.
The astrobio.net.
For all of your astrobiology needs. It's astrobio.net.
So now one of the great frontiers here is where you have to ask, how are you going to explore the nearby planets or the distant ones? Do you send a robot? Do you send a human? Mm-hmm. Do you send a robot to do what a human can do? Or this is the major issue, a major question, and I brought that up with Steve Squires and Heidi Hamill. And let's see what their take is on it. One of them is a geologist, and one of them is a telescope astronomer. Let's see where they take us on this issue. Given the choice, because it costs more to send people than to send robots. If you had the choice of sending 30 robots to 30 different locations on Mars, or you going yourself, as a scientist, not as adventure explorer, Indiana Jones hat-wearing expedition head. I'm talking about...
Well, how about if we talk about sending you instead?
Yeah, would he be able to come back?
I forgot about whether we should bring him back.
Now, look, I see where you're going with this.
Where's the trade-off?
The answer, my personal answer, is that I would send a human. Okay? And I'll give you two reasons for that. One reason is that what humans can do is so much greater than what robots are capable of now or for the foreseeable future.
Wait a minute. Every time we send a human, they bring out a black box that makes the measurement. Well, why not make the robot pull out the black box?
No. There's much more to it than that. Okay, Neil, I have spent the last 20 years of my life trying to design and operate robots that can replicate what a human might be able to do on the Martian surface. What our rovers do in a day, you and I could do in about 30 seconds. That's one thing. The other thing is that humans have a capability to synthesize information, to digest it, to figure out the next thing to do, and to improvise. Robots can't improvise the way humans can.
But it's not just that we're not there yet. I mean, Moore's law get us this ever increasing rate of.
I think you've got a couple of billion years of evolution to go. To that point.
We're very, very far away from that. The other reason that I would send humans.
So the brain is still a pretty good device.
Terrific processor.
Very good. Yeah.
Very, very good.
The other reason I would send humans is that humans have a capability to inspire that robots simply lack. Someone once famously said, nobody's ever going to give a robot a ticker tape parade. And there is something to that. It's a little squishy, it's a little intangible, but I will tell you that our rovers were built by people like me who grew up in the 60s and 70s watching Mercury and Gemini and Apollo on TV and dreaming of sending spaceships to Mars someday. And now we do that, okay? We were inspired by what we saw as kids, and I think sending humans does that in a way that robots never will. So I think there's a real value to it.
Where do you want to go? We can send you somewhere. And bring you back.
There's a lot of great stuff in the solar system to see. And just picking off the low-hanging fruit, I'd love to...
Where would you go, Heidi?
Where would you go? The next place that I would go...
The fruit wouldn't have to be low-hanging. Reach for it. Where would you go?
I'm so intrigued by the outer solar system because we know so little about it.
It's good scientific juices flowing here.
Yeah, we just know absolutely nothing about...
You're drawn to where you are most ignorant.
Yeah, because
this is a rare state. Most people are only
okay.
comfortable where they know the most. But
I want to uncover some of these things that we just don't know.
So give me a place.
I would like to go to Neptune.
Ooh, Neptune.
Yeah, Neptune's a beautiful place.
Orbit Neptune.
Yeah, because that planet system, not just the planet itself, but it's got an incredible ring system that's chunky and it's not smooth and beautiful like Saturn's. It's clumpy. It's very odd, very dynamic. It's changing with time. It's got a terrific moon called Triton, which was captured. It wasn't born with Neptune. It was some object that just got, too close, and Neptune stole it.
Grabbed from interplanetary space.
This thing is like a twin to Pluto. And we know that it has...
Triton is a twin.
Triton is a twin to Pluto. We know it has ice volcanoes. It's got geysers. We've seen them. And so this moon is dynamic and change. So the whole planetary system has something for everyone. I mean, we'll just learn so much.
So you're attracted by the abject ignorance of what we know of the system. That's what
Plus, it's just really alien. It's a really alien place.
Mm-hmm. It's very different. I mean, these ice giants are just so different from Earth. I mean, they don't have surfaces. You couldn't land on it, but you could land on one of its moons, and that would be great.
See, since I'm fundamentally a galactic person, not a planet person, my destination within the solar system has nothing to do with how much we know. It's just what looks the coolest.
Right, so where would you go?
I would go to Titan and just watch Titan. That's the one with the rivers of methane.
It's got lakes, lakes at the poles.
Lakes of liquid methane. And meanwhile, you're orbiting Saturn. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, if you want to go there, you really better eat healthy and get plenty of exercise. It's going to take a while.
All right, thanks, guys, for being on Star Talk. Chuck, if we find life on Europa, you know what we should call it?
What?
The Europeans. So, Chuck, take us out of here. What do you...
I was listening to that, and I could just think, if... The advantage of sending a robot is, they're never going to ask, "Are we there yet?" And that's why we should send a robot.
That's the answer.
That's the answer.
And if you send any human, well, who would it be?
Got to be Oprah Winfrey, because if there's life there, they will love her.
With enough money to bring her back, or just send her there? I need a tweet of the week. Let's see, Star Talk tweet of the week. In the era of Hubble and space probes, dots of light on the night sky have become worlds. Worlds have become our backyard. Cool. You've been listening to Star Talk Radio, funded in part by the National Science Foundation. As always, for Star Talk Radio, Neil deGrasse